Hello again, and happy Saturday to everyone. Thank you for joining me and your host, Nerdy Neo, for another episode of Party Chat. We had a few emergencies going on with some of the panel members today, so we're going to be a little shorthanded. Unfortunately, Mark is going on doing some family stuff today, so he won't be able to make it at all. And then about 5 minutes ago, Ryan messaged me. He's like, some stuff came up. I am going to be late, and he didn't let me know how late he was going to be, so I'm just going to plan on him not being here, but hopefully he'll show up and he can join in the conversation. But what I do have today is my special guest. Joining us for the first time is Hijabi Gamer. Thank you for joining us, Kat.
Thank you for having me. You won me over the moment you said video games. That's all that you need to get me to come.
Excellent. Yeah, that's the whole point of my channel. I'm not sure if you had a chance to take a look at, but basically the only thing on my channel is streams of me talking to mostly other people, but I do have a stream or so of just myself just talking about games. So that's basically all I want to do here is just talk about video games and maybe stream them occasionally, which I haven't done yet, but I might.
Awesome. Try it. It's fun. Just showing off your skill and impressing people, I hope.
I did a little test stream, and it looked good on my end while I was streaming, but then I watched it back after the fact, and it was really choppy. But my computer is pretty old. The PC I'm on right now is about 12 years old, so it can't really play a whole lot. But so what I did was, because I'm a big Xbox guy, not that I have anything against the other platforms, I would own all of them if I had the time and or money. But what I did was I streamed my Xbox to my PC using the Windows Xbox app, because you can stream your Xbox to basically anything that has Windows 10 or newer.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's great because sometimes if someone's using your TV, like maybe an app on the TV or something, I could stream it to my laptop and play it even though someone's using my TV. So
I use a capture card. I have the Elgato HD60S Plus, or
that might be what I need to do, because so what I did is I streamed it to my PC through the Xbox app, and then I just shared my screen. And so
I think I know what you're doing now. The portable that lets you play Xbox games on your phone and stuff like that.
Yeah, same thing. You can do it because there's xCloud where you're actually streaming it from the Microsoft servers, but there's also remote play, which is you're playing the games on your Xbox streamed to another device. It's two different options on the same Xbox app.
Yeah, so I think now I know it, because I've done that a few times where I'm too lazy to turn on the Xbox, but I want to play Xbox games, so like I've done it with Diablo 4. So I think now I know what you're talking about. I didn't think to stream it.
Yeah, so I streamed it to my PC because my PC isn't powerful enough to play the games, and then I shared my screen. It looked good on my end, but when I watched it back later, it was pretty choppy. So I don't know if it was an internet thing or whether I really need a capture card to do it. I'll have to do some more testing. So I haven't really. I did one stream where I played Portal for about 45 minutes, which is one of my favorite games because I love puzzle games.
Though I'm not complaining as a big Xbox person myself. I'm not complaining. I do have a PS5, but I like the Xbox. Excellent. It's easier to stream. It's actually easier to stream.
Yeah, the Xbox. What I'll probably do is, because the Xbox has a built-in Twitch app, is I'll probably, when I stream, just stream directly to Twitch from my Xbox, and that should alleviate the problem.
Oh, well, the other thing is the audio outputs. I've complained about this. Xbox, PlayStation, if you plug in a headset into your controller, the sound will not work on the television. Audio only comes out of one source, either the HDMI cable or the headset. So for example, with Xbox, I can go into a party with other people because I can use my wireless headset and get audio, and also have audio coming out of the HDMI into the capture card. PlayStation, the moment I use even a wireless headset, the audio cuts from the HDMI.
Oh,
Even
so you
I
can do it on Xbox, but not on PlayStation.
cannot unless
Interesting.
it is very. And one guy from PlayStation was like, "No, all you need is a wireless headset." No, the moment you plug in the wireless, the moment you connect the wireless headset, it immediately switches the audio to the headset. If you plug it, so in order to do in order to have audio with a capture card, the Elgato one, you need a special cable that plugs into the controller, that plugs into the capture card, that plugs into your headset.
Oh my
And
god, that's a hassle.
that's why, unless you're using their share option, it's a pain in the butt to live stream with PlayStation. That's why every game I plan on live streaming, I always get it on Xbox.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, that definitely sounds a lot easier to do. I don't have a PlayStation, so I can't try it, so I'll have to take your word for it. But definitely sounds like it'll be easier if I ever do decide to stream something rather than just talking, which is pretty much all I've done so far because I just love talking about games.
Well, if
So,
you
oh, go
sorry,
ahead.
I was just gonna say, if you ever consider any of the, if you ever want to play anything that's first-person shooter, third-person shooter, you know where to find me.
Yes. So, I mentioned this to Ryan on our last party chat 2 weeks ago, but I was gonna wait till he got here. But one thing I mentioned to him is we were talking. So we'll kind of jump ahead a little bit and then jump back because
Okay.
typically the first thing we do on here is we talk about what we've been playing lately.
Okay.
But what I was talking about with Ryan last week about you was we were talking about, and you probably saw it on here, is what game have you spent or games have you spent the most hours in? And my number one game that I've spent more hours in than anything else is Destiny 1.
You're
But
my new best friend.
yeah, I've got about 1,600 hours in Destiny 1 because I kept all three characters at top tier all the way up through the last DLC, Rise of Iron. I didn't buy that for a really long time because I was waiting for it to go on sale, and still to this day, it's never been on sale. So I
Because
ended
it's
up,
that good.
I,
It's
I,
that good.
I ended up finally, like after maybe like 2 years after it had been out, I finally just bit the bullet and bought it. So I finally got a group together and beat the Wrath of the Machine raid for the first time just a couple months ago. And so the only achievement I have left on Destiny 1, because I'm a completionist, is beating the Wrath of the Machine raid on Heroic. And I was like, maybe I can get Kat and some other people
So,
together to do a
do you?
Heroic.
Yes, 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 yes. You can get me in, absolutely. Hell, do you have Outbreak Prime?
Outbreak? Oh, is that a gun?
It's the gun that's the raid gun.
Oh,
So
no, I didn't
there's a
get.
whole quest to get it. It's an exotic gun, and you need a hunter, a titan, and a warlock, and you need to do Wrath of the Machine twice. And there's like this binary code, but it's a pretty sweet gun that has like, it shoots and it has little projectiles. It's called Outbreak Prime,
Outbreak Prime.
and
Okay, no,
it's
I don't have that one. I haven't seen it yet. I've only done Wrath of the Machine once, so it sounds like I need to at least do it on normal again to start that quest, or is that
yes,
okay?
yes.
So maybe we'll have to run it normal and then
I
we can do
don't
heroic.
mind. Wrath of the Machine is one of my favorite raids. I would definitely not mind if we could get a raid team going, because there's a bunch of raids I also want to do other than Wrath of the Machine. Um, but yes, though I hate to break it to you, I got bad news for you.
Uh-oh.
All right, so you talk about having three characters running at the same time on original Destiny. Um, I had six
Oh my goodness.
because
Oh, because multiple platforms.
I played Destiny on PlayStation and Xbox and
That's
maintained
right.
three characters on each. And then because I love playing a hunter so much, I eventually deleted one on each, like in the last couple of years, and started a new hunter.
Just do it
Um,
again.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I have a total on Xbox alone of 103 days, 22 hours, and 23 minutes in original Destiny. So that is
Yeah, I'm
now you
pulling
have
up
to
my
really,
calculator.
you need to double that because of PlayStation. This is only
Wow.
Xbox. Um, 2,400 plus 22. 2,494 hours on
And
original Destiny.
on Xbox, and then
On
add
Xbox.
whatever on top of that for how much you spent on PlayStation.
Yes,
Wow. That's impressive.
that's how much I loved original Destiny.
So that was, at the top of the list there because Mark wasn't able to make last party chat. So I was going to ask you and Mark what game you spent the most hours in. I figured it was probably Destiny or Warframe, one of the two.
Destiny.
Destiny.
Warframe, I have about 1,000 hours at this point. But
Okay.
Destiny 2 and Warframe. And I soloed Challenge of the Elders. I've soloed
Nice.
Nightfalls. I would spend hours just trying to figure out tricks and like ideas and strategy to solo a Nightfall because I played primarily a hunter. With
Okay. I'm a Titan main, so.
Ultimate Titans are mega powerful, but I love the fact that people like hunters are very squishy. So it's almost like you're challenging me. Like, oh, so you want to solo a Nightfall? Well, you can do it on the mega tough Titan, or you can do it on the super squishy hunter.
I remember it was pretty impressive back. I don't remember if this was before or after Destiny 2. I think it was before Wrath of the Machine came out. But I remember because I joined Reddit back in the day for the sole purpose of Destiny. That's the reason why I joined Reddit. And I was on the Destiny Reddit all the time. And I remember like it was blowing up when the first person who soloed Oryx. Do you remember that?
Oh, I wasn't on Reddit, but I remember hearing about that because, well,
It was nuts.
I remember seeing people. There's a trick to get into King's Fall with a sniper rifle, and
Um,
that Oryx is in King's Fall, right?
Yeah, Oryx was the
Yeah,
King's Fall raid,
yeah,
and I don't know if he did the entire raid solo or just the Oryx fight, but I remember watching the Oryx fight video, and it was crazy because the only way to do it is because if you don't have a full team, you would
yeah.
automatically die at certain points. So he had to play um, the Warlock that can self res.
Yes.
And he used the sleeper simulant, which is like the rail gun, to do massive damage in like 2 hits. They patched it after
Oh.
that, so you couldn't do it solo anymore. But I remember when the first person did it solo, it was pretty crazy and impressive. Hey, what's up, Nerdporial? Glad you were able to drop in and say hi. Can't stay long, but glad you were able to say hi.
Um. What was it? So when I did hear about people soloing raids, because I was like, okay, there's no way. So I managed to solo the beginning of Crota's End, and I did it
Okay.
on master What is the higher level? It's master. I forget.
Heroic.
Heroic, and I
They
can't do
added
it now.
okay because initially it only had the one difficulty. I think
Yeah,
they
and now there's
added
two.
heroic later on after uh, Rise of Iron came out, so you could
Yes,
go back and play the older raids, but actually play them at the new light level, which I don't think I've
yes.
ever done.
No, this I figured out how to solo the beginning. You know the area with the thrall where you have the
Um,
lantern. So what you have to do is you have to go. There's like eight. I can't remember how many different lanterns, and you go from lantern to lantern,
oh
and
yeah.
you get heavier and heavier the longer you're away from the lantern. Then it goes away, and there's
Yes, I
like
remember
thousands
that.
of thrall. So the trick was to use the don't touch me's, which are a hunter exotic that if you get a melee attack, you go invisible. Then you
Yes, I remember
go
doing that.
as a night slinger, void slinger. Oh god, my brain is freezing. And I managed to get through that, and I would carry fire teams through that. And I did it solo though, on heroic difficulty. I
Nice.
haven't done it in years though, but it was like then there was the ogre at the end and the plate at the end.
Yes, I remember
Yes, that
that.
was so much.
I remember messing around at the beginning part of that with bad juju because if you get a headshot kill, it refills your ammo, and you can
Yeah.
basically with that many thrall, you can just basically hold the trigger forever and like just never run out of ammo, and it just keeps getting kills.
Okay, that's pretty sweet.
That was one of my favorite guns for that. So, but yeah, so that kind of jumps a little bit ahead because normally, like I said, normally we talk about what we've been playing, and then we talk about some of the
Hmm.
topics that I have planned out. So to kind of jump back a little bit, um, what have you been playing lately? Destiny? I think I saw you
Actually,
streaming it just earlier today.
so all right, I've been playing Remnant and Remnant 2, which
Okay.
is just a really good third-person shooter. Warframe, of course, because every week you can earn a free Warframe in the circuit. And then I realized that I have to finish this Lightfall campaign. So today, for the first time in weeks, I started playing Destiny 2.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I never played Destiny 2. I played the demo and that was about it. So I don't really know anything about Destiny 2 other than I know the name of one of the expansions was Lightfall.
That's the last one, and that is by far the worst.
Okay, I haven't heard terribly great things about it from what I've heard from, the grapevine.
As I say, it's been out for months. Normally, I pre-order every single update for Destiny 2. I pre-order it on multiple consoles. Um, Even though I have crossplay, I would have it on PlayStation, PC, and Xbox.
Oh, so
I
Destiny
still
2 has crossplay?
Destiny 2 has crossplay, yes.
Oh, nice.
Which is that is nice, and cross save. So
What's up, Whiskey Jack? Thanks for joining us.
actually what's interesting is I play my PlayStation. So I have my original character from PlayStation. So when I started playing original Destiny, I have my original character. So you could transfer your character from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2. You also earned emblems in Destiny 1 that you would get in Destiny 2. So like if you got a
Okay.
Grimoire score of 5,000, you got one called Lore Scholar, which is the one I use all the time because 5,000 Grimoire. So right,
I
but
have
then
no
they
idea what
added
mine is.
they have cross save, and cross save means so you choose one of your accounts, and now you can play it across multiple platforms. So I am playing my PlayStation account, my PlayStation character from when I first started playing Destiny in Destiny 2 right now, my original hunter that I
And
started.
I think I remember when Destiny 2 was coming out, they were talking about that. I think the cross saves only works on the same platform though, so you can't take a PlayStation character to Xbox and vice
No,
versa.
you
Is that
can.
right? You
No.
can.
So cross save was designed because they knew people were playing it on multiple. So at one point, I don't know if you can do it now. If you had more than one character on a platform, there was a way you did it where you logged in and then you combined them. So now I'm on Xbox, but the character I'm playing, I created originally way back in Destiny 1 on PlayStation.
Oh, that's pretty awesome.
So, because I had more achievements on my PlayStation account. So, yeah, it this way now if I
Achievements.
were to buy Lightfall, I could play and advance the same character on PlayStation or PC.
Cool.
It's great. It's really, really great. I just switched to PlayStation and start playing, but you have to own the content. So I don't have Lightfall on PlayStation.
Gotcha. Okay. So, yeah, I know you're like when I watch you in streams and stuff, you're always about like Corpus this and Corpus that, which I believe is something from Warframe, right?
Yes.
I don't know anything about Warframe. So give me a little rundown on what Warframe is.
Well, the Corpus is a merchant cult that worships profit and hard work and labor, and they it's a religion basically. Warframe is a more dystopian future, where you play what's known as a Tenno, and imagine every single Destiny class as being a separate Warframe. So you have like Ember is a flame-based Warframe with different attacks, and you know how until they did the whole thing in Destiny, you would farm for different guns with different stats.
Yeah,
In
okay.
Warframe, you have the same gun, but what you farm for are different mods. So the mods, there are some very, very rare mods, there's some very common mods, and you mod the weapon to change what you could do with the weapon. So you modify the weapon. It's the same with the Warframe. And if you can mod a Warframe really well, which some people are really, really good at it, you could do ridiculous amounts of damage. Like you go through the entire solar system, and then it unlocks the steel path where everything's like I think it's like 100 times more powerful.
Wow.
Um, Warframe started in 2013, and
Oh, so it's older than Destiny. I did not
it's
realize
actually
that.
a year older than Destiny, and it's free to play. And
I
most
didn't know
people,
that.
most people, when they hear free to play, they go, "Oh, that's bad." Warframe,
They
you
do
can
it well.
earn. They do it well. In fact, there was one point you can get pets in the game, and they had this thing where you can play real money to get different fur colors for your pet. And somebody did it like 200 times in an hour. And they're like, "We created a slot machine," and they took it out of the game.
Wow, that's impressive.
It's a
What's up, Vanquish? Glad you could
it's a
join us today.
hi.
Yeah, that
It's
was Whiskey Jack's asking about it. I was going to ask, how exactly does it play? Is it a first-person shooter? I think
it's
from
a
what little I've seen, it's
third
a third
person.
person.
It's a third person.
Okay,
There's
and
a
you
lot of
play like you're kind of looking like a mech suit. Is that right?
yes. And it's very parkour, very fast paced. There's a lot of grinding to it, but honestly, at this point, given Destiny 2's grind. It's actually less than it. I mean, it's free, so it's easy to just try it. It's unfortunately they don't hold your hand enough in the beginning to go into modding, but there's a
Kind
lot
of
of
got to
people
figure
that
it all out yourself.
yeah. But for a free to play game, it's I said they have not, unlike Destiny 2, which I don't know if you heard, they took out so much of the original content.
Yeah, I did hear a lot of backlash about that, which it's surprising because I know basically that happened in Destiny 1, sort of. Not well, sort of. They didn't actually remove it from the game, but they did paywall lock it where you couldn't access content you could access before unless you bought the new DLC. But
Yeah, I remember that.
in Destiny 2, they actually took content out. Is that
Yes.
right?
So if you
Oh, that's
see the
garbage.
ads for Destiny 2, the old ads where they have the war with the Cabal, the Red War, that's gone from the game. Forsaken, which killed off Cade 6, is gone from the game. Warframe has not removed their content, and every one of their updated stories is free. So like the latest was the New War, and you cannot pay to jump ahead. So like I think one of the reasons why
Oh,
people don't really, you don't hear a lot of people talk about is like if you want to play the New War in Warframe, which is one of the latest, I think the Veilbreaker, you have to play the game. You cannot pay your way to pass things. I mean, in Destiny 2 right now,
okay. In Warframe, you can't skip ahead
you
because I know in
you
Destiny
cannot.
you typically can, right?
Now you can, apparently the Lightfall campaign, apparently you can pay $20 and skip it.
Yeah, because I remember when they added Rise of Iron to the first one, they added, or it might have even have been the Oryx DLC. They added like a skip ahead, which instantly made you top level.
It's not that you have to play in order to get to the New War. You have to play all of the story content before the New War. You
Okay,
cannot.
cool.
It doesn't
I'm all
matter
for
what.
that.
Yeah. Which I think is why a lot of the people who really don't game but write about video games
The
don't.
journalists.
Yes, the journalists don't really talk about Warframe because you actually have to play Warframe to get to advance to the latest content. So
Okay.
it did get a lot of hype. Like I said, it's a lot. It's not easy to get into, but it's free, so it's easy to just try it if you change your mind. I really enjoy it. I find it is one of my comfort games. I can play it just when you're in a bad mood and you want. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, and then I've been hearing a lot about Remnant 2, which just came out like a week or
Yes.
so ago, and you mentioned you've been playing those.
Yes.
It sounds, from what little I've seen and heard about it, I'm definitely interested. It sounds kind of like a Souls-like game with guns. Is that pretty accurate?
Yes, it's yeah, that's Warframe. It's not free to pay
Oh,
to
here.
win. Yeah, I mean you
A
can get
free-to-play game that isn't pay to win? Apparently. I'm gonna have to take Kat's word for it.
it's
I trust
you
her.
can yeah it's I mean you can pay for the Warframes. You can buy the Prime version, but you have to earn Warframes in the game as well. I mean you cannot do the story content without playing it. Everything you can earn in game, you can pay money, but the difference is I don't mind paying money into Warframe because I see that the developers are putting into it.
And it doesn't seem like they're trying to just ring nickel and dime you for every little thing.
No. Whereas $15 armor sets in Destiny 2 is a bit much.
Yeah.
Remnant 2 and Remnant are sort of, I don't know, I don't feel like they're hard enough to be Souls games, but they are. It's a third person game. Some say it's a Souls, like it gets harder. I've been playing it on the normal difficulty, and it's procedurally generated, and you play it multiple times because each time you play it, it's going to be different. Um, it's first off, there's no store in the game. At least I haven't seen anything in Remnant 2. I have not seen. I know in original Remnant there was no like you can buy armor or anything. You buy the game, you get the game, and then there was added DLC for Remnant. One of the great things is like if you want, I remember earning a gun in defeating a dragon and earning a gun. Like everything you earn in game, it isn't like you say you can't buy anything. It's third person. It is, yeah, I'd say Souls with guns, but it's I can't describe it. It's just really good.
Okay. From
I,
because I haven't played Remnant, but it looks like it plays a lot like Outriders, which I put a few hours into. I haven't played a ton of, but it looks a lot like Outriders. But from
it's
what I hear, it's better.
yes, I've played Outriders. It is hard, which is fun about it. I'm trying to see if it's still on sale because it was on sale recently. No, it's not on sale anymore. It was on sale for $20.
Are you
So it's
talking about
normally
Outriders or
Remnant.
the first
The
Remnant?
original,
Okay,
the Remnant
gotcha.
was on sale for $20, and a lot of people were picking it up. I highly recommend it. Um, it's a challenge, and compared to like Destiny, which is I don't know. I've discovered that video games that are hard, that Destiny's not hard. Um,
Okay.
it's you could add mods to the game. It's interesting. It's a weird world. Really, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not describing it good. I would look at some gameplay footage, but I think it's a great game.
Yeah, from what I've seen, it definitely the Remnant games definitely look interesting. I'd never even heard of Remnant until Remnant 2 was announced a little while ago, and Remnant 1 has been out for a few years. I'm like, I'm surprised I'd never heard about this one.
I noticed it when a bunch of Destiny people during a lull started to play it and started to
Okay.
talk about it, and then I was like, okay, this looks and one of the things I'll admit, there's one thing that I am biased about is it is hard. Um, Serious Sam is harder though. Um, but the first time I played it, I could not get far in it at all. Like I couldn't even beat the first boss. Now I'm just flying through the game. So it's like I played it when it first came out. And it's just awesome to see yourself improve and be like, okay, so I sucked the first time I played it, and now I'm easily like flying through it. So
And do the Remnant games have? Can you play the whole thing in co-op or is it
yes,
solo?
you can play it in co-op, and you can
Cool.
play it in online, and you can have friends join you. Um,
I
Three
did
people. I
I
think
see
Az
that
was
it's
playing it.
did I see that it also has crossplay?
I don't know about crossplay. I know Az was playing it. I've never. The thing is, I've always played it by myself. So
Okay.
I know it has 3-player co-op. I know you can play with randoms online. I know Az was playing it, and he's been playing it with people as well because he mentioned I've seen his live stream alerts. He live streams when I'm at work. So I just will get the alert that Az is playing Remnant with I think X-Ray Girl, and I think he was playing with Mark.
Like, oh, okay. Hey, Mark hasn't been. Oh, I mean,
I'm not sure because I've seen him also playing with. I just keep getting his alerts, but I'm usually at work.
because Mark hasn't really mentioned much of Remnant, but he does talk about Baldur's Gate 3 a lot.
So
He
maybe
basically
that's
brings
what
it up on
he.
every episode.
Have you played it?
No, I'm an Xbox guy, and it's not out on Xbox yet.
Yeah.
So, if I do play it, it probably won't be for a while.
It,
I'll have to see more about it, but I didn't even know about it until he brought it up when we were talking about RPGs and stuff. So I'll have to look into it and see if it seems interesting to me. I'd probably be interested in it, but I haven't really seen enough yet to determine one way or the other whether I feel like I want to play it at some point.
The thing is, I like the studio, Lariat Studios. They were saying like at one point Microsoft approached them to buy them, and they're like, we don't want overlords over us or anybody like telling us. And it looks like they put a lot of effort into the game. The problem is, it's a tactical turn-based RPG.
That's why Mark brought it up because I play like a lot of genres, but a couple things that I am not fans of is I'm not a fan of is like JRPGs and turn-based combat. And so he's like, I think you might like this one though.
No, no,
So
no, 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 no.
pro-
No.
probably the turn-based because the other game basically the game that's been talked about more than anything on my channel so far has been Knights of the Old Republic. I call it like a pseudo turn-based. It
Okay.
technically is like turn-based, but I did enjoy that. And then the other turn-based games that I actually enjoyed were the South Park Stick of Truth and Fractured But Whole. Those are pretty fun.
Those are turn-based. I've never played
Yeah,
them.
yeah, they're turn-based RPGs.
Huh. No,
So,
I
despite
have.
me not liking turn-based combat, those games were all pretty enjoyable. But for the most part, anytime I hear turn-based, it instantly basically turns me off.
Yeah, I'm afraid. As much as I want to support Larian Studios because I do have a gaming PC, um, I, no, nah, too much storytelling. not enough action, not enough shooty. Yeah. No.
So, but yeah, so what I've been playing lately is I talked about it because I do a Thursday night stream as well, where which it can just be me or it might be me and someone else. We've had three or four of those called open mic. I was talking about a bit on there on Thursday night is I've been playing Fist, which recently joined Game Pass. It's an acronym for Forged in Shadow Torch. It's a 2D Metroidvania game, and
yes, I've played that. And you play as an animal.
You play as a rabbit with this big mechanical fist on his back.
Yeah, I started to play that. I haven't played very much of it, but I think it's on Switch.
It's probably on everything. It's on Game Pass, and so my particular genre of choice is Metroidvania. Are you familiar with True Achievements, the website True Achievements?
No, what is it?
So it's for Xbox people who are big achievement hunters on Xbox, and because each achievement has a gamer score value. But the people who came up with the idea for this website thought that the gamer score values a lot of times aren't representative of the difficulty, because you can have like super easy achievements that are worth 100 gamer score, then you have super hard ones that are worth 5 gamer score. So they came up with this ratio that's based on how many people have gotten an achievement out of how many people have played the game, and it comes up with this ratio, and it multiplies the gamer score by the ratio to give you the true achievement value to be more indicative of the difficulty of the achievements. So it's a really great website if you're into Xbox and achievements and stuff.
Yes.
And there's leaderboards for like everything based on like genres. And so I'm a big Metroidvania guy, and I'm really connected with a group of Metroidvania players, and I actually run a Metroidvania contest. So I play a lot of Metroidvanias, and for August, the Metroidvania of the month is Fist. So a bunch of us are playing it this month. So I've been playing through that, and it's not fantastic, but it's good. If you really like Metroidvania games, I would recommend it. If you're on the fence on Metroidvanias, I would probably say pass. But one of the things I do really like about it is that so many Metroidvanias are pixel art games, which I don't have a problem with pixel art, but out of like, if you go and look at all the Metroidvanias on Xbox, I'd probably say half of them are probably pixel art games. So anytime there's a Metroidvania that's not pixel art and actually has good graphics and looks really pretty, it's definitely gets some bonus points in my book. So one of the other ones that we were talking about on Thursday night is Shadow Complex. My guest Rocker Dude and we love Shadow Complex, and that's one of my top favorite Metroidvanias. But we were talking about Forged in Shadow Torch because he had just beaten it recently as well. So I've been playing that. I'm about halfway through, I think. But yeah, I've been enjoying it for the most part. You start out with this big mechanical fist on your back, and then you get a bunch of movement upgrades, which is basically the epitome of the Metroidvania genre is your ability gating. So once you get a new abilities, you can reach new areas. And in addition to movement, you start out with just mechanical fist, then you get this drill, and then the third one is like this long grabby arm, which allows you to
Excuse me, what's that? What?
Oh yeah.
Dry clothes. Where should I put them?
Someplace.
What do you mean someplace?
Right now.
What do you put on the floor?
I'm looking it up right now. It's on Game Pass.
Yeah, it's on Game Pass. It just joined day one on Game Pass in July.
Because FIST?
Yes.
Because I'll admit, I like Metroidvanias. I just haven't played very many yet because time. I think my Destiny 2 time kind of proves why one of my biggest regrets is spending so much time playing Destiny and Destiny 2 that I didn't play enough other games. Wait, Stray is coming to
I think it came out yesterday or this week. I know you were a big fan of that game because you are a fan of kitty cats.
But it's on Game Pass.
Stray is not on Game Pass, but it did come to Xbox.
Okay. Then why is it?
So I'll have to pull it up. But yeah, it just I'm pretty sure
I even have a physical copy of Stray.
August 10th. So yeah, it just came out on Thursday, but it is not on Game Pass. But I know that a lot of people like that game, and I think you were a big fan of it as well, right?
Oh yes, yes, definitely. It is a very good game. It's very creative.
Yeah, it's published by Annapurna, which they have a pretty good reputation. They've got a lot of good games. I've played quite a few of their games, and a lot of their games do come to Game Pass. So I wouldn't be surprised if at some point Stray does come to Game Pass.
Well, what's interesting is there's a guy who's known for cat behavior. His name is Jackson Galaxy. He had a show called My Cat from Hell. And well, the idea is if you have a cat that misbehaves, he's like, it's not that the cat is bad. He's like, the cat is just responding to you. So one of his things is he helps people realize what they're doing and how to improve. Anyway,
Like a cat whisperer.
Yeah, no, he's phenomenal, and he said he got a copy of the game, and he was like, when he was talking about getting the game, he's like, 10 years ago he approached a game studio about making a game about a cat, and they were like, it's impossible, it's really really hard. The
Make
cat
a game about anything.
No, but they're like, to get it accurate, the body language
okay.
and everything, he's like, it would be extremely difficult. But then he live streamed and he played Stray, and he's like, it's this is someone who specializes in cat behavior. He was thoroughly impressed by this game. He's like, down to little details that the cat is doing in its behavior were very very accurate. So it was really cool to see someone who's actually a cat. He's like, he was thoroughly impressed by them. That
Cool.
they did such a phenomenal job with this game.
Oh yeah, one of the things I was going to touch on a minute ago when you're talking about how much time you spent in Destiny and stuff, as I mentioned a few times in past episodes, is that like sometime from about 2010 to about 2016, around there, I was basically like that. I basically spent I basically only played 3 games in that time: Skyrim, Destiny 1, and Mass Effect 3. Because Mass Effect 3 is my single favorite game of all time, and Mass Effect is my favorite franchise. And I play, me and a couple of buddies in real life, we play the Mass Effect multiplayer all the time. We love it. I was just playing it last night.
There's a Mass Effect multiplayer?
Yeah, in Mass Effect 3, the 360 or PS3 or PC version, but not in the Legendary Edition. They removed the multiplayer aspect,
Okay,
unfortunately.
I have the Legendary. I haven't played it because, honestly, everybody keeps telling me it's really, really good, but it's too slow for me.
Okay. Because the Mass Effect 1, when it comes to the combat, is a bit slower. It's very heavy on the RPG elements. And then Mass Effect 2, they kind of like flip-flopped, and Mass Effect 2 is very heavy on the shooter action elements and very light on the RPG elements. And then I think Mass Effect 3, they came to a perfect blend between the two.
I don't like games where part of the gameplay is the storytelling. I don't mind good story.
It's a very big aspect.
Yeah, I don't. I like good story. I hate the story that's in Destiny 2 right now. I think it's gone. It reads like emo fanfic, but I still like good story, even if it's like on the side. It's emo fanfic, absolute emo fanfic.
So, yeah. So I basically spent that time only playing those 3 games, and then since then I've kind of spread out. So I've played a lot of stuff since then. So if you see my, because I've been on True Achievements, they created it in I think like 2008 or so, and then I joined like a year after. And so if you saw my graph, it's pretty level. And then like 2018 when I started spreading out, and it just goes, it's almost like a vertical line for all the stuff I've been playing since. But yeah, Whiskey Jack says that Fist is on Switch, by the way. Cool. Good to know.
I have a Switch.
And he is a fan of Mass Effect 2. Yes, excellent. So that kind of covers the the long intro, almost as long as FNT. So the kind of the stuff I had on the docket to talk about as our main topics today is I wanted to talk to you about and Mark about what games, because he wasn't able to make last episode either, what games he spent the most hours in, but we kind of already touched on that. Now I want to know, what are some of your favorite games that are not Destiny or Warframe?
That's piece of cake. My favorite shooters: Doom, Borderlands 2. I do like the gunplay and gameplay for Borderlands 3. Definitely Doom Eternal.
Yes. I love
who doesn't like Doom? Doom is just awesome. I'm trying to get into the retro Doom games. I just installed Quake 2 because it's on Game Pass. So
it just came to Game Pass a couple days ago.
I want to play Quake and Quake 2. Bolt Gun I played recently. That is awesome.
Mark was playing that. He said good things about it. Although I've heard
Yeah.
of the boomer shooters, I've heard that Proteus might be the best of them.
I've played a little of Proteus as well.
Also on Game Pass.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, especially like I said, I love Doom. I love Doom Eternal. I've played some Diablo 3. I like Diablo 3 more than Diablo 4.
Interesting.
Remnant,
Okay.
Remnant 2. There's this game called Gunfire Reborn. That's another kind of
Oh, that's on
shooter.
Game Pass.
Yeah, I've played that. It's I think it's procedurally generated, but again, you go through a dungeon and shoot and shoot. I've also was playing Serious Sam, which is really really hard, and everyone's like, you should drop it down to normal difficulty. No, I'm going to beat this game on hard. I am going to
played
beat.
Serious Sam 4 before it left Game Pass. I think it was in about the middle of July, and yeah, I played it on the easy difficulty because I never played a Serious Sam game before, and I was like, I can't imagine playing this on one of the harder difficulties. This game is nuts.
Yeah. Oh God, yes.
But I came in on Serious Sam 4 is the first time I ever played a Serious Sam game, and I was like, I have no idea what's going on. There was like no intro to like the story. I'm like, I'm completely lost. But I have a feeling that the Serious Sam games, the story is pretty nonsensical, anyways.
It's primarily, somebody told me it is meant to be a sadistic, nightmarish hellscape of, just yeah, because
What's up, Shadow of Hawk? I'm glad you were able to hop in and say hi.
I've played Anthem, and I was looking forward to the Anthem 2.0, which is why I played the campaign twice on Xbox and PlayStation, because I got it for full price on Xbox, and then I have it on PlayStation for $5.
I was looking forward to that game a lot.
Yes.
Anthem, and then I was very disappointed with the final product. So I played the demo and never ended up playing the actual game.
Titanfall 2. I've played Titanfall 2. I got really into the Division and the Division 2.
Okay, very Destiny-like, so that definitely makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, those are. It's easy if there are guns in it. And I have not played it, I ask people to recommend it because I will probably like it. If there are no guns in it, then I probably will not like it.
Okay. Here's one that I was hoping Mark was going to be on today because it actually touches on the thing I have at the bottom of the list, which I don't think we're going to get to. But one game that I have to ask you if you've played because it's very high-paced action, awesome guns. Have you ever played Vanquish?
Not sure what.
I've brought it up a couple times before because Vanquish. I don't know if he's still in chat or not, but I asked him because his name is Vanquish AZ. I asked him if he had ever played Vanquish, and he hadn't either. Vanquish is a platinum. It's Platinum Games, and it came out like 2012. I want to say it was a 360 game. It's probably on PlayStation 3 as well.
Oh, I have that. I haven't played it yet. You see,
Mark and I will definitely highly recommend it. Excellent game. It's pretty short, so you can get through it pretty quickly.
Okay.
But excellent game. Very fast paced. You're in this like mech suit, and it's basically like rocket powered. You like slide around. You can go into slow motion, and there's a bunch of different guns and stuff. And you're basically in the game takes place in this space station. It's basically like Halo, but instead of it just being a ring, it's like a whole cylinder. It's stretched out, and there's like an entire basically like city on the inside of it, and it spins to create artificial gravity. But yeah, definitely an awesome shooter. I'd recommend it if you haven't played it. There's the original version, which was on 360. They also released a 10th anniversary edition on Xbox One and PS4, I'm pretty sure, which was also bundled because it came out at the same time. Bayonetta, yes. They because Vanquish and Bayonetta came out very close to each other, so their 10-year anniversary was both very close, and they re-released them in a bundle, which is also a great game if you haven't played. And Mark will probably back me up on Bayonetta as well.
I want to start playing Bayonetta 1. I said I didn't get into gaming until about really get into it. Like I've always had consoles around forever until about 10 years ago. Then all of a sudden I just really got, so there's a lot of retro stuff I'm missing in my backlog. On top of that, for a long time all I did was play Destiny, and then all I did was play Destiny 2, so that's why I'm trying to catch up. And
so what was so you haven't been gaming as long as my first I've talked about a few times. My first console was my grandparents got me a Super Nintendo when I was what 4 or 5. So I've been gaming pretty much my whole life. So what was your first console then? If you haven't been gaming
Well,
since back in the
see,
day.
I had a Super Nintendo and a Game Boy, but we weren't really into it. We played outside more. We didn't have a lot. We couldn't afford a lot of games. I think we had like 4 or 5. I did have a Game Boy, but I didn't really get really into it until by chance, after a really bad thing, just a really difficult time, I started playing Halo 3 on Xbox 360, my brother's
Yes,
Xbox
that's my favorite
360,
Halo.
and just could not tell what was going on.
Oh,
No clue. So I started playing. I work in retail. I picked up a copy of the original Halo on Xbox 360, and then my brother took his Xbox 360 back. So at the time I finally picked up a PS4. I had a PS4 and an Xbox 360, and everyone was like, "Why aren't you playing Uncharted or any of those great games?" Because I was busy playing. Because the Master Chief Collection had to come out yet, so I didn't have an Xbox.
Oh, okay.
So I bought an Xbox 360 and I played through the first 3 Halo games. And that got me hooked. And then I heard about this game that was being made by the people who made Halo.
Oh,
Destiny is made by Bungie as well.
Bungie, yes.
And that just, yeah.
Occupied you from then on.
But then when I like Borderlands 2, I played it on a PS Vita in Egypt, and I was like,
I didn't know it was on PS Vita.
yeah, and it's actually
I don't know
really
anything
good
about
on PS
PlayStation handhelds, so.
It's also on the Nintendo Switch. So started playing Borderlands 2, and came back to it when I got back to America. Played it on Xbox.
Yeah, I played Borderlands 1 and 2, but I never bothered with 3 because I wasn't a huge fan of Borderlands, but I did play them all solo, and they are much more fun. I played them here and there with friends, and that was a lot of fun, but never a group consistent enough to actually play through it, so I ended up playing through both of them solo, and it was pretty boring, so I never bothered with 3.
The nice thing about 3 are the guns, because I think they're like procedurally randomly generated, so there are millions of guns, and some of the guns are just crazy. Like there's one where it's like if you reload it, it throws a copy of the gun and it explodes. So the story is agony. But the gunplay is awesome. And the same with Tiny Tina's Wonderland. I cannot tell you what the story is about. I have played a lot of it, but they just
that was the spin-off, right?
That's the spin-off. But as crazy as it sounds, even though it's supposedly a D&D ripoff, you're shooting guns.
Oh, that was the standalone one because that was the DLC for Borderlands 2.
No, they made a whole game.
Okay, because I know that they re-released the Borderlands 2 Bunkers and Badasses DLC as its own standalone game, but Tiny Tina's Wonderland is not that. That's a different one, right?
That's a complete game. Tiny Tina's Wonderland is based on Bunkers and Badasses, but it is a complete game. I can't tell you anything about the story because the story is so unbearably boring and bad. But again, as for a game that's supposedly based on D&D, you are shooting guns. And as someone who just likes to shoot guns in video games, I don't mind.
Sounds good. Yeah. So Shadow Hawk said that the Anthem beta was so boring. Once I learned that it was a game with meaningless choices, I dropped it. Yeah, same here. And Ryan, hello, welcome, Ryan. I haven't seen you here before, so I'm glad you were able to come join us and say something as a W. I'm not particularly sure at what point that was dropped. I think that had to do with maybe Halo or Doom. But yeah, I didn't. The first Doom I played was Doom 2016, and then I went back and played the old school Dooms. So I don't have the nostalgia for the old school Dooms, but I did enjoy playing them. But yeah, of the Doom games, Doom Eternal is my favorite.
I played the Doom 2016. The first time I played it was on the Nintendo Switch in Egypt. I would not recommend that.
Yeah, like not really a great game for a Nintendo Switch when that game is a fantastic looking game, and you really need to play it in at least 60K, 60 FPS, if not also 4K.
But I was in Egypt, and it was awesome. I got pretty far in it on the Nintendo Switch. Do you have a Switch?
I do not. I only have an Xbox. I was a Nintendo kid growing up, so I had Super Nintendo through Wii, and then Xbox through Series X. I've never had a PlayStation, and I don't have a Switch. But if I was to get, like I said, I'd like to have all the current consoles, but If I was to pick between getting a PlayStation or a Switch, I'd probably go with the Switch just because so many of the PlayStation games I want to play have come to PC.
Yeah.
So once I do get a PC that can play them, I can play those games without having to
Yeah.
actually get a PlayStation.
Whereas with Nintendo, there are some games on the Switch that you can only get on the Switch, and it's
There are a lot.
the portability of it is also really, really nice.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Like I got into Diablo 3 on the Switch, and it's actually really good. I think Asmongold said you can't play Diablo portably until Diablo Immortal, and he never saw the comment. But I was like,
don't you guys
actually
have
no.
phones? Oh, that was
Well,
great.
but actually, you can play Diablo 3 on the Nintendo Switch, and it actually plays really well. And the Switch is portable. That's what got me originally into Diablo 3. I picked it up on the Switch and fell in love with it, and then ended up picking it up on Xbox.
Nice.
But originally, it was on the Switch.
Whiskey Jack says Quake 3 and Unreal Tournament 2003 were the last FPSs. Okay, I played a lot. I never played online, but I did play versus bots. A ton of Unreal Tournament 2003 and 2004 when they added vehicles. I loved that one.
Wait, I think one sec. I think Unreal Tournament is done by
Epic.
But I think there's one of them is made by Digital Extremes.
Oh, you know what? They might have been made by Digital Extremes. I think before Epic might have bought them. Because, yeah, now that you mention it, I think I do remember seeing Digital Extremes pop up when I loaded. Because I played the original Unreal Tournament 2003 and 2004, but I never played any of the Unreal Championships.
Is a Canadian video game developer. I'm looking them up right now because I remember somebody doing a video about. Yeah, they did Unreal Tournament. They did Unreal Championship, Unreal Tournament 2003, Unreal Tournament 2004.
Okay.
They were involved in BioShock, the PS3 port, BioShock 2 multiplayer, The Darkness 2, Warframe.
Yeah, it sounds like they got a pretty decent track record.
But I remember someone mentioning Unreal Tournament, so they did some Unreal Tournament stuff. And I do have Dark Sector.
Oh yeah, I played the demo for that. That was the one with the glaive, right?
I'm not sure. I said so. When I bought my PS4, the store I bought it from was getting rid of all of their pre-owned PS3 and Xbox 360 games. So I got a stack of Xbox 360 and PS3 games for ridiculously cheap, and I kept going back. So I ended up with something like 100 PS3 and Xbox 360 games combined. The problem is I got them when I got a PS4, and I got them in one go. So I have a lot of PS3 games and Xbox 360 games that I have never played that are sitting there waiting for me. I'm going to be that little old lady in the nursing home with the consoles, and anybody who comes too close, I'm going to throw my controller at them.
Away.
So that's why I probably need to get at least another PS3 just to be sure and safe that this, because I still have a PS3 sitting right here, and an Xbox 360. Yeah.
Okay. So the next thing I had on the docket here to talk about, it's kind of a bummer that Ryan and Mark aren't here. We'll have to talk about it another time.
Yeah, I've met Mark.
But yeah, have you streamed with Mark before?
Not for a while, but I did with Geeks and Gamers.
Okay. Oh yeah. Probably when you came on the Gaming with Geeks podcast way back in the day.
The one they did on Saturday.
Yeah, that was the Gaming with Geeks podcast. Which when that ended, that is what wanted me to make a channel. It just didn't pan out because of real life stuff until just recently. So, but yeah, so I was hoping they'd be on here to talk about it. But I thought this would be a fun topic because you're the first female solo guest I've had on my channel. And so I thought it'd be interesting coming from the other side of the aisle. Your first video game crush, if you ever had one.
Well, I've never really had one, but I'll say this: the Drifter from Destiny 2 and
Drifter.
Ghost of
I don't even know that character.
The Drifter's a new character who's part of the Gambit. He's an NPC, and the main character in Ghost of Tsushima.
Okay, Jin Sakai. You have mentioned that a few times before in your streams. Okay.
So I have a thing for Asian guys with beards, apparently.
So it's in my. Let's see if I can pull it. I don't want to share. Do I want to share it this way? No. It's in my my YouTube banner that JT Gunn just helped create for me this last week. Let's see if I can pull it up. I should have had it ready to go. But my first gaming crush was Joanna Dark from Perfect Dark. Are you familiar with Perfect Dark?
I've seen. Isn't it on Xbox? Game
The
Pass?
Yeah, so the original is on Game Pass through Rare Replay because it is a rare game. Perfect Dark is basically the spiritual successor to GoldenEye, and
Okay.
everyone who played it really liked it. Unfortunately, it never really got the recognition it deserved because it was better than GoldenEye in every regard.
Okay.
It took everything GoldenEye did and turned it up to 11 and just added ridiculous amounts of customization and stuff. And it's in the future rather than being in present day. So you got all sorts of cool futuristic guns. And it
Okay.
was had a female protagonist as opposed to James Bond being the
Mhm.
suave guy that he was. I love GoldenEye and played the heck out of GoldenEye, but I played way more Perfect Dark. And then they released a sequel, which was actually a prequel, which is Perfect Dark Zero, which was a launch title for Xbox 360.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it wasn't as good as the original. Most people would say the original is far better. A lot of people say that Perfect Dark Zero was a terrible game. I wouldn't say it was terrible. I would say it was good, but it wasn't as good as the original, unfortunately. But there being a prequel, there's a lot of like inconsistencies in the lore between the original and the prequel, given that it takes
Mhm.
place before, because Joanna Dark is British, but in Perfect Dark Zero, which is a prequel, for some reason she doesn't have a British accent. So it's like she gained a
Magic.
British accent between the original or between the prequel and the original, which doesn't make any sense.
Magic. Space magic.
Magic, yeah.
Different.
So let's see here. You know what? I think I can
Wait, are
do
you
this.
now giving me another video game I need to play to my list of games? It's an ongoing joke that people keep giving me games I need to play.
It is a first-person shooter, and it was
Damn it!
uh
I
because
don't need any more
more
games to add to my list.
um because it's basically it's built on the same engine as GoldenEye. If you ever Did you ever play GoldenEye?
No,
I know.
I'm afraid I don't even think we had it.
Okay. Yeah, it's built on the same engine as GoldenEye. They touched it up a little bit and it looks a little bit better, but it was an N64 game. So it looks pretty dated by today's standards. But one of the cool things that GoldenEye introduced and Perfect Dark did as well is when you turn up the difficulty, it doesn't just make the enemies better. You actually get additional mission objectives in each objective. So on easy,
Huh.
you may only have one or two objectives. Like the first level on easy is basically get to the end of the level. But on secret agent, which is the middle difficulty, it's
Mhm.
like you have to go and basically like have this guy go and hack a computer for you. And then on perfect agent, I think there was perfect agent and then there was Dark Agent was the hardest, but I don't know if Dark Agent was in the original Perfect Dark or they added that in Perfect Dark Zero. Because I remember in Perfect Dark Zero, Dark Agent is the hardest difficulty. I don't remember if there was Dark Agent in the original, but but I know that there was Agent, Secret Agent, and Perfect Agent. In Perfect Agent, you had like 5 objectives to do on the first level. So that was a pretty interesting concept, which not a
That
lot
is.
of games have done since.
That actually sounds pretty cool. No, it doesn't. No, I don't need to play this game. No, it sounds horrible. It sounds terrible. It sounds like a very bad idea. I'm not interested. No, 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 no,
So
no.
it is older and doesn't play as smooth as a lot of current first person shooters do. So um you wouldn't necessarily I wouldn't
I,
necessarily recommend it unless you were a big
no,
fan of
good.
shooters
Thank
from
you.
back in the
Appreciate it.
day.
Good. No, don't need to play it. Don't need to play it. I have a massive library already to play. No, no. I'm looking forward to the Armored Core 6 game. That looks ridiculously cool. Um,
So
I still haven't beaten Remnant from the Ashes or Remnant 2. I still haven't finished Lightfall. Um, yeah,
yeah,
no,
you
I
got
no.
plenty on your plate.
Yes, yes, thank you. That yes,
So, let's
absolutely.
see here. I'm trying to pull it up here without sharing. All right, let's see if I can do this. I'm still kind of learning this whole streaming thing. So let's see if I can get this right. Here we go. I think this should do it. So I'm sharing it. So this is Joanna Dark right here up in front and center.
Yeah, I've
So
seen her.
she's pretty sexy. So that was my first video game crush. Most people probably around my generation would probably say Lara Croft from Tomb Raider. I know, which was basically a PlayStation franchise, and like I said, I've never owned a PlayStation, so I've never. I think I've only played one or two of the Tomb Raider games that were on 360, but I played the heck out of Perfect Dark. So that was mine.
No, I'm not tempted. I am not going to look on my Xbox right now for this game. No.
Both of them, because they were both Perfect Dark and Perfect Dark Zero were both from Rare. They are both on Game Pass via.
No, they're not. We're gonna pretend that they're not.
The Rare Replay collection, because there's a bunch of games in the Rare Replay collection. There's like Donkey Kong 64, I think, is in there, and Jet Force Gemini, which is another underrated N64 game.
I don't need to know this. I
Conquer,
absolutely no. I
Banjo
don't need
Kazooie.
No.
None of those are first-person shooters, though. Those like Banjo Kazooie and Conquer, those were like platformers, basically like Mario 64.
So when I was very young, one game I really did get into for a long time, and like so we didn't have a lot of video games, and we spent most of our time playing outside. Spyro, loved Spyro. Got obsessed with the floating stages. I can't do it again. I got to go back and replay that.
I always liked what I saw from Crash Bandicoot and Spyro, which were basically the old school PlayStation mascots, but not having a PlayStation, I never really got to play them. But then when they released like the Crash Insane collection and the Spyro Reignited, those came to Xbox. I've played a little bit of the Crash Insane trilogy. I haven't done a lot of it yet, something I need to get to, but I have completed the Spyro Reignited trilogy, and that was cool to finally get to a chance to go back and play the Spyro games. Those were pretty good. And Whiskey Jack says that Streets of Rage 2 Blaze was his first video game crush. She is a pretty smoking lady, so I will definitely agree with you on that one, although I've never really played Streets of Rage. But to answer your next question, Kyle Katarn, heck yes, did I play Jedi Knight. The entire Kyle Katarn. So Kyle Katarn is my second favorite Star Wars character behind Darth Bane. And I have played all of the Kyle Katarn games, which started with Dark Forces, which was basically a Star Wars Doom clone. That like the original Doom from back in the 90s. It's a clone of that. Dark Forces. It looks and plays just like the original Doom, but it's Star Wars. So I played that, and then the sequel to that was Dark Forces 2 Jedi Knight, which Kyle Katarn found out that his dad was a Jedi secretly, I think it was, Morgan Katarn, who was slain by a dark Jedi, Jarek. And so he goes basically on a revenge quest, and Kyle Katarn becomes a Jedi himself. And then the sequel to that was Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast. Although there was an expansion between those two, there was Jedi Knight Mysteries of the Sith, where you actually are Mara Jade's master for a little while, because she just recently came to the light side because she was the Emperor's assassin for a while. Then she came to the light side, and you play her mentor for a little bit. But you play most of that game as Mara Jade. But then the sequel was Jedi Knight, Jedi Outcast. And Jedi Knight, Jedi Outcast, and the sequel to that, Jedi Academy, are still to this day my favorite Star Wars games of all time. And they are hands down the best examples of lightsaber combat in any game ever.
I don't need to play these. No. I didn't hear any of that.
Jedi Knight, you could skip the old ones and just do Jedi Outcast and Jedi Academy. I definitely recommend those because those are still in my top.
No, you don't recommend them.
Those are still in my favorite games of all time, not just my favorite Star Wars games, my favorite games of all time. And you can switch because there's tons of guns in it as well. You can switch between first-person shooter or third person when you have your lightsaber.
I'm not listening to you.
So,
do you have any idea? What?
It's the only game I've ever been on decent online lightsaber gameplay. Yeah, I never really played them online. I never really had the fortitude to play them online, but I've played those campaigns a lot, and you could blaze through them pretty quickly. They're not terribly long. So
I still haven't played this Elden Ring. I still haven't finished Hogwarts Legacy. Okay, or Evil West. No more suggestions.
Okay. Because you want suggestions? I could go on and on and on and on and on. But played way too many nights on Outcast and Academy Online. Yes, excellent games.
No, I don't need any more game suggestions. I really don't. I said the problem is I work in retail, so I see when video games go on sale. I don't say where I work because I don't want to get in trouble with my boss. But I
Totally.
work in retail, and so when I see a game goes on sale, and it's a big mistake because sometimes you'll see, like for example, I have Far Cry 6. Why do I have Far Cry 6? Because it was a $60 game on sale for $20, a PS5 game for $20. Sure, why not? Yeah, it's a problem. It's a serious problem. So I have a massive backlog. I have Watch Dogs Legion because it was on sale for $15.
Yeah, I don't plan to play Watch Dogs Legion, but I haven't played Watch Dogs 1 or 2, but those are both on my backlog.
Same.
Okay, yes, thank you, Whiskey Jack. Yes, you do need to play Outcast, yes.
I need to play Elden Ring. I want to play Elden Ring. I want to play the Dark Souls series. I want to play Demon Souls. I want to play Returnal. I want to play. I have like no. I haven't even finished Final Fantasy 16 yet, which I know it's only on PlayStation at the moment, but I want to play that. No. I still haven't finished the Lightfall campaign from Destiny. Okay, and then I find out that Stray is on Xbox, which because I have a cat now staring at me right now, looking at me angrily, I definitely have to get this game now on Xbox.
But yeah, I'm a very frugal gamer as well. I barely ever buy anything until it's like 50% off or more, and when I can get like the Game of the Year edition with all the DLC. So I have a massive backlog as well. So I feel for you on that part.
Well, have you noticed? And one of the reasons why I've been pre-ordering games, and then if I want, I can cancel it before, like from the store, before I get it.
I think the last game I pre-ordered was Destiny 1.
So because like I've noticed that it's harder and harder to get physical games.
Yeah, everything's going digital.
So
it's
like
just so much more convenient.
I wanted a physical copy of Remnant 2 because I love Remnant 1. I wanted a physical copy of it. I pre-ordered it from one store, and they said that they originally the pre-order went through fine, and then
was it just the digital code to download it?
It was a physical game, but then they were like, it looked like it was being delayed. So I canceled it and I went through Amazon. And Amazon first initially promised me that the game would ship and it would arrive on, so the early release was on Friday. You bought it digitally, you got it on Friday if you paid a certain amount. And so but the physical game came out on Tuesday. So Amazon's like, yeah, your game will arrive on Wednesday. All of a sudden on Tuesday, it's like your game has been delayed. And it looked like it wasn't coming out until September. So I was like, okay, damn it. No. I need this game. This is Remnant 2. So I ended up buying it off of digital, but I didn't cancel my pre-order for the physical copy. Okay. And about a couple days ago, I finally got the physical copy because I want a physical copy. But I'm noticing it's harder and harder to get physical copies. So now, like, I'll pre-order it, and if I see bad reviews, because where I pre-order it, I have like a week after it's released to cancel it.
Okay.
So I can look into. I love ACG. His reviews are some of my favorite.
I'm familiar with that person.
He does pretty good reviews. There's another one that's like buy, rent, or like wait for sale. I also look at his. Switch up. I look for Nintendo Switch games, but ACG in particular. He's really good with his reviews. Because I don't trust a lot of reviewers after the whole Cyberpunk thing, and how they reviewed it positively, and then it turned out to not be too positive.
Yeah, so yeah, Whiskey Jack. Screw those other games. Play Outcast's life.
No,
I think it said it created a genre and then dropped the mic and left. Yeah, because the closest thing we've gotten to it since is Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor. I haven't played Jedi Survivor yet, but I did. Fallen Order was decent, but still, in my opinion, wasn't as good as Outcast and Academy.
Wait, so that's the new game, Jedi Survivor Fallen Order is the new game, right?
So Fallen Order is the one that came out in like
Yeah.
2019, I think, and then the
Yes.
sequel, Jedi Survivor, just came out a couple months
Yes.
ago.
How does that play on Xbox?
I haven't played Survivor yet, but I played Fallen Order and I didn't have any problems with it. And I played it.
What about the loading times?
I did play it on original Xbox One, not Series, because Series wasn't out yet.
Yeah.
I don't remember it being too terribly bad. I do plan, whenever I do end up playing Jedi Survivor, I am going to play through Fallen Order again, and I will be playing it on a Series X, so I'll be able to experience it, how well it plays, because it was Series enhanced, so it should be pretty good on load times. But I haven't tried it myself.
I haven't
played it since it was on Xbox One.
Because with my Xbox One X, I got a digital copy of the first game.
Okay.
But I had forgotten I had it, and so I bought it on
I played Fallen Order on my One X, not original one.
Yeah.
So.
But then I'd forgotten I had the digital code for the digital copy. I had it originally on my Xbox One X, and then recently I was looking through my library and I remembered. But I bought it for $20 on PS5 recently, and the load times, because I was playing it on a harder difficulty, and I was still getting familiar with the game, so I was dying. At least a minute long load times. Like I would die, and people are like, I'm playing it on a PS5. So that's why I was wondering what it's, because I might download it then on Xbox Series X and see how it goes.
You know what? After the stream, I'll boot it up on my Series X and see how it is, and I'll let you know.
Because the thing is, I was going to drop the difficulty. The load times were so long that it was just, I was fighting some like minor enemy at the beginning that was just completely decimating me. I did not know, I couldn't figure out the movements for it, but it was like a minute long between that just load times. It's like, but it's on PS5.
Yeah, that's definitely surprising, because I don't remember it being that bad on my One X. But yeah, I'll boot it up on my Series X in a little bit, and I'll let you know how it is. But
no,
one of the things...
I have the day one PS5. So just look, when they gave us those stimulus checks, right? The first stimulus check, I knew that the PS5 and the Xbox were coming out this year. We didn't know the prices, we didn't know the release. I knew they were eventually coming out. So I knew that my job was to stimulate the economy. So I put the money aside specifically to buy a PS5 and an Xbox, because I was going to stimulate. It's called a stimulus check for a reason.
Were you able to get them on launch?
Yes.
Nice.
The PS5 was actually, the PS5 I was playing Challenge of the Elders and Original Destiny, and I was on Best Buy. And because Best Buy was weird. Best Buy said it wasn't going to come out until a certain time, and then all of a sudden they dropped it early, and I got an email from Best Buy, so I went through Best Buy, and
I got my Series X through Best Buy.
It took me a couple attempts. I'm playing Challenge of the Elders, and I would say complete order, and I would go back to Challenge, and I got it through. And then the next day I went to work, and I was talking to people, and they're like, "You got a PS5." I'm like, "Yeah, it was easy." The Xbox was the harder one. The Xbox, so the PS5 came out on, I think, a Friday, and the Xbox came out a couple days earlier. So I think I got the second batch, because my Xbox, I ended up getting the Xbox through Best Buy as well. And my Xbox and my PlayStation both arrived from Best Buy on the same day. So they both arrived on Friday.
Christmas in November.
Yes. But I was ridiculously lucky. So I have the launch Xbox Series X and the launch PS5.
Nice.
Now you can find them everywhere.
Yeah, I haven't been in a store that carries them for a while, so I haven't actually looked and seen. But from what I've heard, they should be pretty easy to get a hold of at this point, given that it's almost 3 years since they came out, I think. My goodness.
Yeah. I was at a Best Buy recently trying to pick up something. Apparently, you need a HDMI splitter to live stream PlayStation 3 through an Elgato capture card, but I think I got the wrong thing. That makes sense. And I saw a bajillion PS5s.
Okay. So one of the things I was going to mention a few minutes ago when we were talking about digital and physical and stuff is, like, the digital is just so much more convenient. But one of the things that makes physical basically useless nowadays is that you buy a disc and it installs like a few gigabytes off the disc and it still downloads most of the game off the internet. And some games, like Jedi Survivor, you can't play it with just the disc. You have to download additional content off the internet. So what's the
Yeah.
point of having a disc if it doesn't even contain the full game?
I was thinking that too. Now, there's a couple of reasons why. First of all, I have a PS5. My brother has a PS5. Even though you have to download stuff, if I give him my physical copy of a game, he can download the stuff, but he can still play the game. It's not account limited. So the content, the additional updates and downloads aren't what you pay for. You don't pay for that. So if I were to give my brother a copy of like my Jedi game, right? He can play it on his PS5. So that's
as
one of
long
the
as the
advantages.
disc is in.
As long as the disc is in, you can actually share the discs. That's the main advantage. You can trade with people, you can sell them back. With Nintendo, I will pick up Nintendo games even if I own the digital copy, because sometimes they will release a physical copy way later. Because Nintendo in particular, I noticed their games go up in value. When I bought my PS4, I had a GameCube, which I regret now trading in. I traded in my GameCube and I traded in a bunch of games, and the games went up.
Oh, bummer. Yeah, I traded in my GameCube for a Wii because the Wii was backwards compatible. So I was like, why do I need a GameCube anymore?
Yeah. So that's one of the other reasons. On top of that, there are some games that they remove from the library, but if you have the physical copy, even if they remove it, I think it depends on the game. Some of them will work. One of the nice things about the
one thing I was just going to say about that is I know on Xbox that even if a game is delisted, which happens somewhat frequently, if you bought it before it was delisted, you can go back and re-download it again. You just can't buy it if you didn't buy it before.
One of the nice things about the Nintendo Switch is a lot of, not all of them. You have to be very careful what games, because there are a couple of exceptions. But the majority of the games that you buy on the Nintendo Switch on the cartridge, if you buy the cartridge, the entire game is on the cartridge. One of the more interesting ones that a lot of people don't know is The Witcher 3 on the Nintendo Switch. The entire game and all of the DLC is on that cartridge. They had to release a specific, a higher capacity cartridge just for that. But you will get you don't need to download anything. A lot of the Nintendo games are like that. So that's one of the reasons why people like the physical copies for the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, it's crazy what they can fit on some of those cartridges for the Switch, because I think on my Xbox, it is the series enhanced version of Witcher 3 is probably about 45 or 50 gigs, but I know Doom Eternal is on Switch as well, and that's probably like 80 or 90 gigs on my Xbox. But yeah, that is
not a physical. I don't think there's a physical of Doom Eternal. I'll admit,
is it digital only?
I've heard Doom Eternal. I haven't played Doom Eternal on the Switch because I heard mixed things about it. Maybe they have improved it, since the first time I played Doom 2016 was on Switch, and then I got it on Xbox. And since I liked it so much, then when Doom Eternal came out, I got that on Xbox and didn't go for the Switch. But I heard mixed things about it. I might go back and see.
Yeah, the fact that they were even porting it to the Switch, I was like, good luck with that. I don't know why you'd want to play it on the most inferior platform, but I guess if it's that important to take it with you on the go, that's the only reason why I could see getting a high, a beefy game like that on a Switch would be to play it on the go.
Now, just hear me out, all right? I know a guy who works for Nintendo. He had this brilliant idea, and as a fellow Xbox person, I think you might appreciate this, right? And might even drive you, if they ever do this, to buy a Nintendo Switch. Halo 1 through 3 on the Switch. Imagine if they release it.
So I don't see that ever happening, but theoretically.
First off, Microsoft and Nintendo actually have a really good relationship. You can actually log onto your Microsoft account to play Minecraft on the Switch.
There are a couple of games that you can get Xbox achievements on the Switch version. Yeah, Minecraft is one of them, and Ori and the Blind Forest is another, which is an excellent Metroidvania.
Yeah, I've played it. And now, one of the first things is, the amiibo for Nintendo, the little plastic figurines.
I know about them, and somehow you do something with them, and it gives you content in game.
Yeah. Now, the only way you can get an amiibo is if the character has been on a Nintendo console. It doesn't matter which one, it has to have been. Think Master Chief amiibo Now, the reason it's great is okay.
Can we get Master Chief in Smash Bros?
Yes.
That'd be
But on
great.
top of that, think of it. All right, so the Nintendo people will get to play the first 3 Halo games and go, these are great. Now I need to get an Xbox so I can play them, play the rest of the Halo games. So it
Yes.
would encourage people to buy an Xbox. On the other hand, the Xbox people will go, portable Halo 1 through 3. I need a Switch. It would benefit Nintendo and Microsoft to put the first 3 Halo games on the Switch.
True, but you can the Master Chief Collection is on xCloud, so you can stream it to your phone already.
Yeah, but I want a Master Chief.
I'm with you there. I'm totally with you there. And Whiskey Jack says, yes, love both Oris. Ori, the second one, Will of the Wisp, is my favorite Metroidvania of all time. Fantastic game.
I have to play that one. I haven't played the second one yet. But
Yeah,
I did like the first.
Excellent game. Because my biggest issue with the first one was the combat was pretty weak. You just hit X to shoot these little beams. They actually added combat into Will of the Wisp, where you have different types of attacks and stuff, and they just built on it and made it even better. Fantastic game.
Okay.
Okay, so here's a fun one. Since you are such a big a fan of first-person shooters, this might overlap a little bit with what Ryan and I and Nerdporial talked about on the last party chat, because we talked about our favorite video game weapons. But I thought, since you're a big shooter, talk about our favorite video game guns in particular, because we did talk about a couple of guns last week. We kind of go back and forth. What I mentioned for favorite video game weapons last week was in Mass Effect 3, the Lancer, which is also a pretty popular gun in Gears of War, which is the chainsaw assault rifle. No relation to the Lancer in Mass Effect, but I know when people hear a gun and Lancer, they probably associate it with Gears of War, because the chainsaw gun is very iconic.
I have not played Gears of War. I have to play Gears of War as an Xbox person.
That's a third-person shooter, but it basically popularized the third-person shooter genre, because the genre, there were a few games that were third-person shooters before it, but that was the one that really put the genre on the map. But the Lancer in Mass Effect 3, what I love about it so much is because in Mass Effect 1, all your guns were based on heat. You didn't have ammo. It would just be, you can shoot as long as your gun doesn't overheat. Mass Effect 2, they changed it, and that also plays into 3, where you actually have, it's still based on heat in the lore. You use thermal clips, but each gun has like 5 or 10 or 100 shots in each magazine based on what type of gun it is. But they went basically with an ammo. They went back to having ammo. But in Mass Effect 3, they added the Lancer, which actually goes back to using heat. So you basically have unlimited ammo as long as it doesn't overheat. And I just love that gun so much. So what's one of your top favorites?
Choose my favorite of my children. Human and cruel.
It doesn't have to be one in particular. We can talk about a few different ones. So what are just
the
what's one that pops into?
Remember the Zalo Supercell?
Yes, that was one of the first exotics that had a element as a primary.
Yes.
That was an arc gun.
Lightning. Yes.
Yeah, chain lightning to a bunch of enemies. That was pretty great. Did that gun make it into Destiny 2, or was that a Destiny 1 only gun?
No, they have something called the Risk Runner, which is an SMG, which I don't think is as good as the Zalo Supercell. They also brought Galahorn, which, by the way, if you didn't get this. You see, if you had pre-ordered Rise of Iron, you got the Iron Galahorn.
I do remember that.
Yes, and you see, if you got it with the pre-order, there's this one little benefit that a lot of people don't know. You know how a lot of exotic weapons are level locked?
Yes.
The pre-ordered Rise of Iron Galahorn is not level locked. I have a level 13 Hunter on my Xbox right now with a light 400 Galahorn. I am not making it up. Nice. Now, the problem is if you dismantle it and reclaim it, which I did on PlayStation, then it's level locked at level 40. But I'm not making it up. Galahorn, of course, is on the list.
That was a great gun. I remember in early Destiny days, it's like if you didn't have a Galahorn, you weren't going to get in a group.
Yeah. The Malfeasance is from Destiny 2, and that is sort of like, it has these little things that shoot out with you when you shoot it. It's a hand cannon. The Ace of Spades. Remember the original Ace of Spades?
Oh, that was a hand cannon.
Yes.
What was the unique thing about that one? I remember liking that gun, but I don't remember why.
Because precision kills move one bullet from the magazine.
Oh, yeah, so you don't have to reload. That's right.
Yes, and if you're good with precision kills, which I am good with precision kills, Buster, what are you doing?
Hi, kitty.
She likes to show off her little butt at times. All right, girl, let
Okay,
me
yeah,
get
I
you.
do remember using the Ace of Spades on my hunter a lot. That was a good gun.
Which was nice because it was a hunter limited gun. Now Ace of Spades in
Oh,
Destiny 2. Remember, you had one for.
I remember that there were a few guns that they introduced late that were there was like one for each class that only that
Yes,
class could use. I forgot about
yes.
that.
There was a legendary and an exotic for each class, and the Ace of Spades, because it was Cade 6's gun,
Yes.
was for the hunter and hunter alone. So that's one of the nice things about the Ace of Spades.
I
They
forgot about that.
Supra from Warframe, the Plinks because Visa made that one popular. There's too many guns.
I figure we could probably do a whole stream on just this topic.
Yeah. Everything in Doom, of course. Absolutely everything in Doom, just on principle.
Let's see here on Doom
The
Eternal.
the chainsword. The chainsword
Oh,
from Warhammer.
Warhammer. Okay, well, not a gun, but that's definitely a good weapon. I don't know anything about Warhammer, but I do know of the chain sword.
You should start like slowly making your way into the world of Warhammer. You will not leave the world of
Yeah,
Warhammer.
I've heard it's good. Well, maybe we can make a deal that if I get into Warhammer, you'll play some of these other
No,
older
no,
first-person
no,
shooters.
no. You just have to go onto YouTube, and there are people who are experts into the lore of Warhammer 40K. Think Master Chief on steroids and stimulants, only massive armies of him. Those are the
Yes,
Space
that sounds pretty
Marines.
dope. Yeah, I've
Yes.
seen the clips and stuff of it, and he's like these giant hulking dudes in these massive suits of armor. Looks
Yes.
pretty awesome. One of the other guns that I mentioned last week when we were talking about favorite weapons is in Just Cause 3. There's the lightning gun, which is from one of the DLCs. It's basically, well, if you haven't played Gears of War, you're probably not familiar with the Hammer of Dawn. Are you?
But I have
Okay.
to play that too.
So it's basically the Hammer of Dawn from Gears of War on steroids. And the Hammer of Dawn is basically just a laser pointer. And once you hold it down in a specific spot for a certain amount of time, this beam from space from a satellite comes down.
Ooh.
And you have to, in the first Gears of War, the first like boss fight is versus the Berserker, which is this gigantic hulking locust. And it's impervious to regular weapon fire. And the only way to beat it is by hitting it probably like 4 or 5 times with the Hammer of Dawn. But in Just Cause 3, you can get the lightning gun, and it's like that, but it recharges super fast, and you just aim and just you'd be up like on a hill and look down, and you'll just go across the landscape in front of you, and this beam just wipes out everything.
So
It's great.
cool.
There's
Awesome.
also basically a mini nuke launcher in that game. It looks like a regular RPG, but it has this huge, gigantic explosion.
Oh,
I love
have-
Just Cause 3. It's basically Michael Bay the game. You have a parachute, a grappling hook, and a wingsuit, and lots of buttons where you just blow everything up.
okay,
There's
that's
not a
another.
whole
Now
lot of
that I
story to
definitely
it,
have to play. Okay,
but
who needs a lot of story when you can blow everything up? Okay, that's beside the point.
yeah,
Okay.
there is story in the Just Cause games, but it's pretty irrelevant. It's just a great game for blowing things up. It's fun.
Okay, I'm now intrigued on that. Now you know how to get my attention. I get to blow things up.
If you did get to the Just Cause franchise, I'd say skip the first one. It's okay, but a lot of people consider the second one to be the best. I consider the third one to be the best. But 2, 3, and 4 are all pretty good games. And there's just lots of sorts of crazy guns, and it's all about using your grappling hook and your wingsuit and your parachutes to fly around everywhere. And you can commandeer vehicles at any time: planes, helicopters, cars, boats, anything. And Whiskey Jack says the railgun from Quake 3 was a good gun. Cool. I never played Quake, so I do have a plan to play Quake and Quake 2 because they are on Game Pass. I just have not gotten to it yet.
Yeah, I was just installing Quake 2, and I want to play, and I'm going to see if Quake is on too, so I can play that as well, because guns in video game.
Oh, I love your response when I asked you your reply on our DMs. Guns. Lots of guns. Because I'm assuming you were referencing The Matrix.
No, I was just, it's
Okay, because that's a line directly from The Matrix, and The Matrix is my favorite movie of all time, hence why my name is Neo.
Oh, I mean, I like the movie. It's known that people will ask me, "Have you played this game?" And I'm like, "Is there any
Are there
guns in it?"
guns?
If there aren't, then it's probably not on my radar. The one hilarious incident I had was I was talking to someone who was asking me, I was talking to someone, a customer, and she was asking me about some sports game. And I was like, yeah, but I really don't play sports games, not enough explosions. Now, keep
I
in
don't
mind,
consider sports games real games.
I don't either, but
Unless
keep in
they're
mind,
like extreme sports games like snowboarding or skateboarding or racing. But yeah, like basketball, soccer, football, those are very boring.
yeah, but keep in mind how I'm dressed when I said that. I walked away like, oh my
Okay,
God.
that's hilarious.
I was like, maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Not enough explosions. I'm
No,
leaving now.
Well, it's an ongoing joke. Like a while back, our sodas, we had a crate of soda explode, and one guy goes up to me I work with. He's like, I have to ask, given who you are, did you have anything to do with it?" I'm like, "No, because it would have gone off much better if it had been me." It's an ongoing thing.
That's hilarious way to play into the stereotype.
We are constantly joking. Somebody set fire to something in a toaster in the end. They're like, "Did you have anything to do with it?" I'm like, "Because it didn't succeed. Obviously, I did not."
It's great when someone can have a good sense of humor about stuff like that.
Of course,
And
it
not
was so funny.
get their panties in a bundle, so to speak.
No,
That's
no,
hilarious.
sometimes I'll just amend it with, I like guns in video games. Though I did get to go shooting once for real, which was awesome. I got to shoot a shotgun and I want to do it again. It was awesome. And I
Yeah.
have not forgotten getting to shoot
Yeah,
again.
I haven't been shooting very many times, but it is a lot of fun. It's unfortunate how expensive it is.
Yes, but I think it was like $70, which is less than the price.
Well,
Which is a
that
little
plus
more
the
than
cost of ammo if you're having to pay
No,
for ammo too.
this one, the $70 included the ammo.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I was like, for the price of a slightly more than a video game, you get the real experience of the video game.
Heck yeah, I'm on board.
Yeah, I gotta convince. I gotta do it again. I definitely have to do it again and again.
That's awesome. So the last gun that I want to mention, because I have brought it up, we did talk about it on probably I think one of my open mics one time. If you haven't played the original Perfect Dark, then you probably don't know about the XR20 Farsight. I think as Vanquish or Whiskey might have been there when I talk about it. So the XR20 Farsight is probably one of the most broken guns in all of video games of all time.
Okay.
So it's in the original Perfect Dark, N64 game. It's an alien sniper rifle. It's actually a rail gun. It has 8 shots per magazine, and it has an X-ray scope, so you can see through walls. And because it's a rail gun, it can shoot through walls.
Okay.
It can.
No, I don't want to know. No.
It kills anything in one shot, even if you shoot them in the toe. And its secondary function is a target tracker. So you basically can hide in a corner, turn on target tracking, and it'll find targets for you. And you just kill everything in one shot. So someone who's running around, minding their own business, because you can use it in multiplayer too, will just die out of nowhere, and they have no idea how or why they died. It's so unbelievably broken.
I don't want to know about this gun, because then I'll want to play this game, and I do not need to play this game. I have enough video games to play as it is. This gun sounds awesome. So you know what? I did not hear anything about this gun, because no. Why are you?
Not as good, not as broken, but probably one of the other most popular guns from Perfect Dark is the laptop gun. Because it's this it in its standard form, it's basically just a full auto rifle. But what makes it really cool is the secondary function is you throw it on the wall and it becomes a sentry turret and will shoot targets for you.
I don't want to know about this. I don't need to know about this. I definitely don't need to know about this.
Those are the 2 most popular guns from the original Perfect Dark. But yeah, the XR20 Farsight is such a fun gun when you're using it, but when you're on the receiving end, it's terrible because it's just so broken.
Yes, Good, it's broken, so I don't need to use this gun. I can no, I'm not
Don't look it
no,
up. If
I'm
you
not.
ever do need more recommendations, I could give you recommendations for pretty much any genre except for like fighting games and RTSs and JRPGs, because those are basically the things that I don't
Yeah, I
do
don't.
because I either don't care for them or I'm terrible at them. But pretty much anything else, if you need recommendations, I could probably help you out. But
Yeah, well, you managed to list the library of games that I don't play either. JRPGs, except Final Fantasy, because the combat is good. I
did you
am
play any of the older ones, or is it now that they're
yes.
more of real-time action hack and slash type games?
So when I played Final Fantasy VII, that
The
was the height of amazing. So
the remake or
playing
the original?
the original.
Okay, so you have
I
played the
did.
original.
I played the original. That was awesome at the time. But now with games being all real time, looking back on it, yeah, you can't pay me to play the original. I really like the remake. I like the combat in the remake. In fact, I like the combat in Final Fantasy VII remake more than Final Fantasy 16.
Okay. Yeah, if it came to Xbox, I'd be possibly enticed to play it because I do like the real-time combat. Hey, what's up, Mr. Dystopian?
Hey,
We're
Mr. Dystopian.
just about wrapping up here, but thanks for hopping in for a little bit to catch the tail end. You could
It is. Isn't it coming to Xbox?
I've not heard of any announcements of a lot of people want it to happen,
Yeah.
but I've not heard anything official that the Final Fantasy VII remake is going to come to Xbox at some point.
I
But
thought it was, but then I thought it was supposed to have been here by now. I thought it was like a year delay, but I don't know. It would be nice if it came to Xbox. I know
the
Final Fantasy Crisis Core Reunion is on Xbox.
Yeah, there
I
are
haven't
a
played that.
decent number of Final Fantasy games on Xbox. There is the Final Fantasy 7 Remastered, which is the original game,
Yeah.
just with a little bit sharper graphics.
Mm.
But not the actual remake.
Yeah, no, I'll admit though, I mean, one of the great things though about the Xbox is I use my Razer controller. So yes, I have to show off
Okay.
my Razer. I have the Razer controller, which has the buttons on the top.
Interesting. Okay,
So
I use the Elite Series 2, so I got the paddles on the bottom, which took
yeah,
me a little while to get used to, but once I did, and if I ever play on a standard controller that doesn't have the paddles on the bottom, I feel like, what is
yes.
this thing? I can't use this.
There's two versions of the Razer. There's one with the buttons on the back as
Oh,
well,
cool.
and
Different
on the
placement.
top. So it has 6 buttons.
Oh, that's awesome.
What's nice about these is I hate L3. So to sprint, I push one of these for sprint and one for jump. So
Nice.
I have like 4 of this controller because I love this controller so much. I want to make sure I don't have. And what's nice about Xbox, PlayStation, this sucks. I can use my Xbox One controllers on my Xbox Series X. You
Yes,
can,
they are
with
forwards compatible.
Yeah, whereas with PlayStation, the only way you can use a PS4 controller on your PS5 is if you're playing the PS4 version of the game. So, like, for the longest time, I was playing because
That's dumb.
I have a Razer controller for the PS4 as well, which is similar. This is for PlayStation.
Okay.
People are like, "Why are you playing Destiny 2 PS4 version?" It's because I wanted to use that. Then they finally, after 2 years, released the Razer controller for the PS5.
Instead of just making the PS4 one work on PS5, they
Yeah,
released
so
another controller for it. Of
but
course.
this is made by Razer. It's not made by Sony. They have the DualSense Edge. I don't understand it because there was talk they were gonna do back buttons like for the you can buy this separate for the PS4. So it's
Oh,
back.
cool.
Yeah,
Just like snaps on there.
yeah, and then it shows you. It has a screen on it when it's plugged in, and you pick what buttons you want.
Nice.
I like controllers. Anyway.
Yeah, it looks like you probably have a lot of them.
Yeah, because it took me a while to find. Like I get what you mean. It took you a while to get used to it. Now I can't play. At the very least, I need the 2 top buttons. I prefer paddles as well, but I actually have a Switch controller that also has back buttons because I
Nice.
cannot now play without at least the back buttons.
Yeah, once you get used to something better, and then it's going back to the basic. It's like, this is difficult. I can't do this anymore. You get
Yeah.
spoiled.
Especially this L3, I don't understand how anybody can sprint while pushing down on the L button, the L trigger, the L whatever, the L
Yeah.
stick. I don't understand that. So for me, if I don't, there are games I will not play if I do not have back buttons.
One of my favorite parts of having the paddles is like on games like Arkham or Assassin's Creed, where you have to, your right stick is to move your camera, but you have to hold A to sprint. So if you want to sprint and turn your camera at the same time, you're moving your thumb back and forth. So having A as one of your paddles so you can keep sprinting and control your camera at the same time is just fantastic.
Yeah, that's why I do L3, because a lot of the games like Destiny and Destiny 2 and a lot of other video games, L3, which is pushing down on the L stick, is sprint. So it's great because I can now sprint constantly and jump while pushing other buttons because it's on the top. So it's even easier on the top.
Probably my favorite usage so far of having the Elite Series 2 and having the paddles was for playing Doom Eternal, because it's so fast paced and you're constantly doing like Y for your flame belch and then X for your chainsaw and B for melee, and you're jumping around and flying and trying to move your camera and do all those things at the same time. Being able to control, never have to take your thumb off your camera, and can still do all of those actions at any given time was a game changer. I don't know how you would play. It's like I can't even imagine, because that game is so fast paced, going back and playing through it again and not having the paddles. It's like how do you do that?
No, I mean, it took me I waited for 2 years because this just came out last holiday, the Razer controller for the PS5, and one of the reasons I played more Xbox than PS5 was because of this thing here. I love this controller. I absolutely love the Razer controllers. In fact, because of the Razer controllers, because I like my setup to be even and the same, because I also use it on my PC, my entire PC setup, this is a Razer headset. I have a Razer keyboard. I have a Razer mouse.
So you like Razer?
Well, it's because
they got good stuff though.
Yeah, it's convenient.
My keyboard is Razer.
Yeah, I have the Huntsman.
I've had this for a long time. I don't even remember. I think it's called the Anansi or ANANSI or something like that. It's probably about 10 years old, but it's been a good keyboard. But yeah, they got good stuff. So I definitely don't have anything bad to say about having all Razer stuff.
Yeah, they also at one point had where is it? I think I still have it. There was a mouse, a Destiny mouse. I'm not sure where I put it.
A Razer Destiny mouse?
Yes,
nice.
There was. They had a mouse pad. I have the mouse pad. The mouse, I'm not sure where it is. I thought I had it here. I'm not seeing it. It's around here, but I do have the mouse, the Destiny Razer mouse, and then SteelSeries came out with their own later on.
Yes, I don't know anything. Oh, okay. I was gonna say that. Oh, sweet. Nice. Yeah, I don't know much about SteelSeries. The only thing I've ever seen SteelSeries is headsets.
Yeah.
So I didn't even know they made other stuff, although it makes sense. So I don't really know. I think I've heard some pretty good stuff about SteelSeries headsets. They seem to be pretty high quality for a pretty decent price, but I haven't heard anything about their peripherals like mouse and keyboards and stuff.
Yeah, my brother has one of their headsets. He specifically wanted a SteelSeries headset for his PC.
I got the Turtle Beach. I think this is like the A700. It's great because it's got Bluetooth. So I'm using it. It's the Xbox one. So I can switch it between using it on my PC, which I'm using right now, or I can connect to my Xbox to use it for gaming. And it does have a mic here, but it's not as high quality as a mic here.
Same
so
here.
I don't use it for that.
Because I'm streaming through when I stream through the capture card. If I'm not going to be joining a fire team with anybody, this is hooked up to my PC so I can hear the game through the PC, and I can then use the Discord. And sometimes people join me and they will be on the Discord instead of in the party chat, because especially for playing like Warframe. Warframe is cross-platform, so UA plays Warframe on PC. Alexia plays it on Xbox. I play on Xbox. So this way, then we don't have to worry about party chat. We just go into the Discord, and it's easy that way. But yeah, this isn't working right now. It's through. I have a.
It sounds like it's working.
No, I'm using a Elgato microphone. So the microphone is for when I live stream. The microphone is for the live stream, and then this microphone is for the Discord. But you can still hear it through the live stream.
Okay, yeah, I can hear it when you're tapping on it.
Yeah. So this microphone is working right now. This one is not hooked up to anything right now.
Gotcha. Okay. So, oh, I lost you completely right there. Yes, no sound. Maybe your audio has been through that mic?
Interesting. So it is this microphone. I thought it was this one. I guess not.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think any audio is coming through your actual microphone right now. It must just be your headset.
Yeah, it must be the headset then. That's interesting because normally this is hooked up to the live stream. I use Streamlabs OBS.
Okay.
So I.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You sound pretty good though. So I thought you were coming through your microphone.
I did
this
too.
one
You didn't
the whole time.
say anything. Okay.
So
cool. That's good to know.
All right. Well, I think that about does it for today. I think that was fun having you on and getting to chat and kind of getting to know you a little bit and meeting face to face.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely happy to have you on anytime, or if you ever want to talk games, I'm happy to come on. And yeah, so after we're done here, I'll go boot up my Fallen Order and I'll see how it is, and I'll let you know.
Awesome. And like I said, I am primarily an Xbox person. If you ever, I know you said you were interested in starting live streaming. If you ever play something like Destiny, and I mean it about the raids. If you watch, I'm 100% desperate to get into some of the Destiny raids, especially on Xbox, because I have not gotten the Touch of Malice. Do you not understand?
Really? You don't have the Touch of Malice? That was a great gun.
And I have the No Time to Explain on PlayStation, but not
That's
on
a good
Xbox.
gun too.
So I know it through my PlayStation experience, but I do not feel complete.
Yeah, Touch of Malice was almost, because Gjallarhorn wasn't as, I mean, it was still useful on the Oryx raid, but the Touch of Malice was almost more useful than Gjallarhorn was on the Oryx raid. So I know a lot of people were like, if you can't come in our raid if you don't have Touch of Malice. And so
I can't live anymore.
That was a good gun.
I do Destiny 1 Xur location videos every week, and every one of the
weapons.
Still
the only one that does that.
The only reason I do it, I don't need any of the stuff Xur carries now. I have everything Xur carries, but I do it for other people. But because the only exotic guns I am missing are from the raids.
Okay. Yeah, if we could get a group together, definitely, I'm down. Do you have other Xbox Destiny people that
I'm gonna go looking into it. I'm gonna start next week in my Xur video. I'm gonna be like, if you're Xbox, and I'm gonna start putting it in my community tab because maybe I can get Alexia into Destiny 1 again. I know she has a Xbox One. I wonder what it will take to.
Yeah, I'm happy to run the Oryx raid with you if you're still needing to get Touch of Malice. That'd be fun.
Now that you have spoken so highly of the Touch of Malice,
it's great because you don't ever. It has essentially unlimited ammo and never has to reload. The thing is that when you, I think it has 13 rounds in the magazine. Once it hits round 1, it'll keep shooting, but instead of using ammo, it takes chunks of your health off.
I don't care. It sounds amazing.
The reason why it was so great in the Oryx raid is because you're in this bubble that keeps refilling your health. So while everyone's shooting at him, doing tons of damage, but they're not actually losing their health. So until that bubble runs out, you can just keep shooting it and do a lot of damage to Oryx.
Okay, now I really, really just... the depression is inconsolable now.
Yes, let's get a raid group together, and we will definitely make this happen. I'm in.
I absolutely would. The best part was when I did do raids back when I did. It was hilarious because people would be like, "I need this part of the armor for my guardian. I'm missing it," and I'd be like, "I don't care about the armor. The guns. I need the guns." Who cares about what your guardian looks like? As long as he's wearing clothes, I'm fine.
Well, the big thing is because you would need the raid armor in order to increase your light level to be able to do the higher. Well,
I'm light 400 at this point. I don't care. I just want
at this point, it's like it doesn't matter because you can just infuse stuff up to whatever level you want, anyways. So I'm not at 400 yet, since I don't have the only way to get to 400 is by getting the heroic Wrath of the Machine raid armor,
Oh
and I
no,
don't have any of it.
you can just play the game. You didn't know that? So first of all, they increased the faction packages. So when you get rank up with your faction to like 400.
I did
So
not
you
know that.
on top of that, and this is a trick that I tell people that most people don't know. You know the weaponsmith, Banshee 44, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know how he does the weapon tests every week.
Yeah.
Well, I am like rank 50 with Banshee 44 because if you do so every weapon you do gives you 500 points towards advancing your rank. You
Okay.
need 2000. So you need to just test 4 weapons. Even if you don't do the crucible ones, usually you can advance your rank 1 level every week, which gives you a faction package from Banshee 44. Depending on your light level, well, it goes all the way up to 400. So, I could easily get a 400 light weapon every week from Banshee 44.
Nice. Because, yeah, my top light level, I think, is like 387. So I'm not quite there. So I don't think it will give me 400 light stuff if my light level isn't already up to that level.
No, but it won't be as slow as you think now. On top of that, one trick I have found is because it's your average, right?
Mm-hmm.
You go when you go, the trick is, oh god, how did I do it? It was if you have multiple engrams to decrypt.
Yeah, you do it from your highest light level character so that you get the highest
Yeah, on top
drop
of
out of
that,
it.
what you do is, let's say you have 3 gauntlets that need to be decrypted, right? You decrypt one of them, then you equip it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then do the next one, and then if that
Yeah.
one's higher light level, equip
Yeah.
that one. Yeah, so you can keep pushing your light level up, which is how
Yeah.
I've been able to get to like almost 390 without before I even played the Wrath of the Machine raid.
Yeah. But now, no, like I said, the Vanguard will give you faction packages with light 400. I mean, the amount of stuff that you will, it's not that hard now to get to. You don't have to do raids. On top of that, you know about like you can get legendary marks like through the wazoo, like ridiculous easy because if you do, so they now have the weekly playlist, the weekly stuff you can do. Do you remember that? So
Yeah,
it's like if you do 5 story missions, you get like 25 legendary marks per one. So you could get like 100 legendary marks a week.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it after year 3, after Rise of Iron, everything became so much easier to do.
I
So
might boot that
you
up this afternoon as well and go putz around in Destiny and see if I can do some of that.
yeah, it and it was on sale recently for $20. So I mean, I haven't been in there in a while, but at one point I went into Archon's Forge and there were people there, and Court of Oryx, which I did
I
not
haven't been to
expect.
Court of Oryx in forever.
The bosses in Court of Oryx were so great. That's one of the things that makes Destiny 2 so sad because they had some great bosses where they each had their own unique mechanics. Nothing was really a bullet sponge. It was just great. I love the Court of Oryx, Archon's Forge, Challenge of the Elders. Used to solo that. So, yes, I'm showing off. I'll admit it. I'm showing off. I can solo Court of
Humble brag.
Humble brag. Yeah, come on. It was not easy to get up to being able to do Challenge of the Elders solo. So.
Yeah, I bet. That's Scorix is the boss of that, right?
No, it's
Or Skolas?
So that I haven't done solo yet, but the Challenge of the Elders is when you have 3 different bosses. It's the weekly one.
Oh,
So
okay.
when you go on the map and you have the row of weekly items, there's the one that's the weekly Challenge of the Elders, where you get the card and you have to get either a cumulative score of 90,000 or a run with 30,000 points. And if you get 30,000, Varix will give you a gun. If you get 90,000, cumulative. So it doesn't matter how many you do, as long as you get 90,000, he'll give you an armor piece. And it's 3
Okay.
different bosses.
I don't think I've ever done that. That doesn't sound familiar to me.
It's 3 bosses. And it varies. There's a taken, so it's 3 random bosses every week. It's 3 different ones. It's either Hive or Taken Hive. So you have oh god, I'm trying to remember their names. My brain is freezing on. You have me on edge here. But you have 2 different Hive, one taken, one non-taken. 2 different Vex, one taken, one non-taken. You have Fallen, one taken, one non-taken, and Cabal, one taken, one non-taken. A Noruisk, Servant of Oryx, Val Araun, Cabal Strategist, Val Araun. And each time you have waves of enemies, and your goal is to get and eventually, if you take too long, he starts eating from your points, and you beat the
Interesting.
boss. And you after you do that, you do the second boss and the third boss, and it's in the weekly thing. And as I said, you go to Varix to pick up the card, and once you get the card, it's to either get, like I said, 90,000 cumulative or 30,000. If you do boot up, right, I have a live stream in an hour and a half. But if you ever see me on, I think we're friends. Are we friends on Xbox?
I follow you. I'm not sure if you follow me, but yeah, I'm
I might have forgot.
Neo21X, so you can
I'll
friend me.
check.
And yeah, I was gonna say, you're gonna be playing some more Destiny today then?
I have a live stream today with so that one runs late, but I will, you know what, knowing that someone is out there playing, I
I'd be
will
happy to
get,
hop on with you if you want.
yeah, and I don't mind showing you Challenge of the Elders. I'm in Destiny 2. I might be in Destiny 2. I might not be in Destiny 2. I might not be holding. I deny everything. Okay. Um, but yeah, I would love to play with other people Destiny. So
Yeah, I'm definitely open to it. So
I will double check because sometimes I lose track and forget to accept friend requests on Xbox just because. Look, I'm too busy playing video games. Okay.
that's a good
Who
reason.
cares
So
about the?
on 360, you would send a friend request and they would have to accept it. On Xbox One, it's more like Twitter where you can follow someone and you can see
Oh.
them show up on your friends list, but they won't show up on your friends list unless you also follow them back.
Oh.
So when you go to someone's profile, if you see like followers like you plus whatever number, it means like you're following them. But if it says on the other one, if it just says like a number, it doesn't say plus you, then that means you might be following them, but they might not be following you, or vice versa. But if you see +1 on both of them, that means you both follow each other.
Okay. Okay. Well, I will look into it then. You could just send me even just
I'll
a
shoot you a
message.
message.
Yeah, and I'll make sure because I have there's a lot of people here. Um, there's a lot. There's a lot, but yes, definitely. If you are down for Destiny, I am definitely down for Destiny. Absolutely, it's my favorite of Destiny 1 is my favorite video game of all time, above and beyond.
Nice. Yeah, I love it's not my favorite, but I do love Destiny, and I've got a couple buddies that I might be able to convince to play a little more Destiny. It just kind of depends on their schedule as well. But yeah, we should definitely get a group together at least to do some raid. Although, shoot, that buddy doesn't have. I don't think I know anybody else. Oh, nice. Oh, don't you? I think you have a few ghosts, don't you?
Yes, I have a whole bunch of ghosts. Ghost is by far my favorite character. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of Destiny, did you hear the news yesterday?
What?
They recast Zavala.
They recast Zavala?
Yeah, because
I mean, that
Lance
makes
Reddick
sense.
passed away. Rest in peace. That he was awesome. But
Yes.
I don't think they could have picked any better person to replace him. They replaced him with Keith David. You know Keith David?
No.
So he's done movies and games, but coming from a gaming standpoint, he was the voice of Arbiter in Halo.
Oh, okay.
He's the voice of
Yeah.
Admiral Anderson in Mass Effect.
I don't know. I know the Arbiter, and I can see that.
From his face, probably one of his more well-known movies was the Chronicles of Riddick. He was in the first one. He was like this, like kind of like tribal priest guy. It's been a really long time since I've seen.
But the voice of the Arbiter, I could see him doing Zavala. I could
Yeah,
actually really see him doing Zavala. Though Lance Reddick, there's this moment in Destiny 2 where he confronts this Cabal leader named Keitel. And at one point, she tells him to kneel. And so there's this normal version, and then he created his own version, and he's like, kneel. And he's like, why? One guardian has been kicking your collective for the last 9 years. All I have to do is tell them that they can turn you into a gun or that you have a gun, and they will. It is the funniest thing. He just goes on about how this one guard, he's like, the only reason I didn't bring this guardian with me is because they've started using the darkness in new and unique ways to kill you. It is, I have to find it for you. I will send it to you on Twitter. It is brilliant because
that sounds
he
funny.
just went in on it. In fact, at several points.
What's up, Matt
acting,
Vader? I'm glad you could hop in for just a moment. We are just about wrapping up,
Yeah.
but thanks for saying hi.
But it is by far, because he did this totally on his own. It is hilarious. In fact, during, I think it was last year's Guardian games, several of them also did like messages to promote and like cheer on their side. So like Nolan North did one for K6, and then there was one from it's really really good. They every now and then they'll do something, but the Zavala one is by far just brilliant.
That's funny. Yeah, I can't wait to if you send that to me so I can take a look at it. So, just Mr. Dystopian, I think, are you saying that Warframe and Halo are second contenders for your favorites as well, or are you saying for
I
Cat?
think he means me.
I'm assuming he's probably talking about Cat.
Warframe is definitely my second. Difficult for the third because I love Doom, I love Halo, I love Borderlands, I love Doom, I love Halo, I love Borderlands, I love Remnant. That hurts.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He was saying
That
he was saying
hurts.
for you for Cat. So, yeah. Oh, great stuff. So, all right. Well,
I
that
can't decide.
okay. So, before we sign off here, what else do you got going on in your channel coming up?
I will. I'm on Screaming Into the Void with
Samuel the
Infamous later today, and then tomorrow, I'm gonna be on. It'll be on my YouTube channel. We're doing Star Trek Engaged, where we are reviewing
Okay.
original series Star Trek, and I'm going to try and get on more during the week to live stream more because somebody gave me a copy of Remnant 2 on PC, and I need to start playing more PC
Nice.
games with a mouse and keyboard because, yes, I can't.
Okay. Mr.
Yeah.
Dystopian says the OG Tomb Raider is his favorite. Cool. Awesome. So, all right. Well, cool. Yeah, sounds like you're busy too. Usually when I ask Ryan, he's like, "Oh, I got like 4 more streams today" because he's a busy guy.
Yeah.
Mark is too. He's usually got so much stuff going on. So, the only thing I've got planned is my next episode of Open Mic on Thursday night. It'll probably be about 10 o'clock, but I have been floating the idea of doing Open Mic twice a week because I just got so much gaming stuff I want to talk about and so many people I want to have on. So, we'll see about that. But for right now, I'm just planning on my next Open Mic on Thursday. If anybody else wants to come on and just talk video games with me, I'm happy to have you on, which is kind of why I called it Open Mic. You're welcome. Let me know, and we can get that figured out. And I think, yeah, that about does it for today. So had a lot of fun having you on and talking about games and talking a lot about Destiny. And we'll definitely play together.
Awesome. Thank you very much, and thank you for having me. Cool. Thank you. I definitely Destiny. That's the secret reason why I live streamed it, so I can secretly, slowly drag people into Destiny.
It's like, come fall in love with my favorite game with me.
You have no choice in the matter. You absolutely don't.
All right. Well, that about does it for today. Thank you for joining us, everybody in chat. We will see you next time. And in the meantime,